live. We got to see how audio works, though. That's the big question.
Yeah,
sometimes the mic works and sometimes the mic doesn't work. I don't know why.
Damn technology.
I know. It's really confusing. It always takes a minute to go live for us. It definitely says live. Hammer's not already. Do we have audio?
I'm checking.
Live. Hammer's not.
Yeah, we have audio. Yes, totally have audio.
Oh, sweet. All right, great. We're ready. All right, let's start then.
Welcome to Beer Explaining.
Welcome to Beer Explaining.
Our Beer Snob Esquire,
Poppy Hippo,
and
Butterfly,
and
an off-secret
special guest. Yes. And today, as the post notified you, we're doing our annual, like 6th annual, I think it is.
It's a lot of annuals. It's also the small, maybe the second smallest
one.
The first one I think might have only before. Yeah, you're still like 6 or 7. It actually probably can't be our 6th annual because we started the year before COVID, right?
Yeah, we did before then.
We did at least 17 or 18 before COVID.
Oh, yes. Might really be our 6th annual.
We got in before COVID.
Yeah.
Okay. And then 21, we're back to doing it.
So our 6th annual blind triple IPA tasting. So why don't you tell us about blind triple IPAs, and then producer A will give us our first pours, and then we'll talk about our rating system.
So essentially, triple IPAs are kind of a celebration of San Francisco Beer Week. They do their really, really big beers, and most of the local breweries will create something special just for the event. It actually harkens back to the Planet Younger, which they always put out for SF Beer Week.
That's the one everyone knows.
Good news. Don't you have good news on that?
Yes. Special guest wife let me know that they are going to bring back the big festival next year, hopefully.
So excited. So excited, because breaking it up with the little breweries just didn't have the same feel.
It did. We're going to the city. We are doing the big festival. We're going to get a hotel room again. It'll be fun.
It'll be fun. Indeed. It'll be
separate hotel rooms.
So most of the triples will have ABVs above 11 or higher. Typically, 10 is on the lower side.
I think we have some 10s today. I think our biggie's like 13.
13 sounds pretty high. And then most of the IBUs are stupid, like 100 plus.
It's like all bitter. Like
it's all hops all the time.
Honestly, so when we do these, there's a lot of stuff involved in flavoring, but the truth is on triples, if you get a triple that doesn't just nail you with alcohol, like just straight drinking alcohol, it's very, very good.
Tends to score high on my card.
Tends to be very good. But
Sarah's card, though. She likes alcohol.
These should mostly be West Coast triples, I believe. I cannot guarantee there might be a hazy in there.
I don't think there is one, but
we do have fieldwork in there,
which could be.
Fieldwork could have gone. It's fieldwork. It's probably not clear.
Probably not. That is true.
But so most are going to be West Coast style.
Yes.
I think your basic hops are in most of these. There's not anything going to be particularly crazy. It's going to be a lot of mosaics, probably.
I would guess citrus, mosaics, Simcoes, but it depends on if you want the dank or the citrus. The hop. There are so many new varieties of hops coming out. Like every year, I've lost track of. Yeah. There's one brewery that made a beer that had 7 different hops beginning with the letter C. I'm like, Jesus, I don't even know you could do that. So whatever.
Cashmere, Citra.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's it. I'm not
Sentinel. And then there's the cryo hops.
That's not fair.
Yeah, but it's like not cryo C. It's something like experimental hop C 300. I don't even know.
I agree. Whatever.
So we know the breweries that we got them from, but we don't know what order they will be served to us in. So it's completely blind. And last year's champion
was Altamont Scarcity. So,
yes.
Which actually is the only triple in this. Actually, I've had 2 of the triples so far because we had it at we had Scarcity at the beer judging event.
Yes.
And I had the Mike Hess at Mike Hess before I bought it.
So, yeah. Okay.
Michael, what do you think of triples? You're a big triple fan?
Yes.
You do like the alcohol flavors? So you kind of just like the wife loves the alcohol, right? Like I can tell you now, when we rate these things, she usually ends up at one of the top 3 high alcohol ones as being her favorite one. So I'm not sure you're a triple fan or you like doubles. You just like all beer.
I like doubles. I prefer doubles.
Okay. Because the alcohol's too hard, you think, on the triple? Yeah. Okay. All right. You stood in line for Pliny the Younger before, right? That's a thing you've done?
Yeah, I never made it, though.
You never had Pliny the Younger? Wow.
Couldn't get there.
Should have told us that. I should have worked that out.
2 years ago when they did it all during COVID, we had a bunch. We sent it away for like beer trades. We had a bunch
very fuzzy.
We can get rid of the mic.
I think we should get rid of the mic.
Okay, we'll dump the mic. It's fine. We'll just go out the camera.
Yeah, it's very fuzzy.
It sounded good when you tried it.
It did, but
you're the one watching right now. Okay, you just want to YouTube. All right, so hopefully the audio won't. Did it improve? Should be quieter probably. Oh yeah, we're not there yet. We should be there now.
It is a little quieter, but I can work it up.
Okay,
I
we'll
can
just be
speak
louder.
louder.
It's fine. All right, so here are the drinks. Oh, let's move this. All right,
Big.
everyone pay attention to your glass shape. That is your glass shape for the night. All right, so this is a snifter. This is a beer can. I don't know what these two are called. This kind of looks like one of the boots to me.
That's a more of a Pilsner glass. And this
Oh,
is,
this is kind of a-
it's not a tulip, but it's more akin to a tulip.
All right, so just grab the one in front of you. I'm going to take the one of you. If you have a particular glass type you like the best, you're certainly welcome to grab it. All right, so let's talk about the rating system though. So we are using the Brewer's Friend Beer Party Tasting Sheet. This tasting sheet is out of 100. There are 5 categories. The categories are rated differently. So first one is appearance, and that's out of 10. It is important to note that we do not know if they're supposed to be hazy or not hazy. So if you do get a hazy one, don't rate it as though you thought it was going to be clear. There was no guarantee these were West Coast, because I know you like to nail them because you think we're drinking West Coast. You get one that's
If it
unfiltered.
calls itself a hazy,
You get all fucking crazy.
okay with that. But if it doesn't say it's a hazy or a foggy or an unfiltered, then I'm going to take it for that. That's all.
All right, so smell, that's out of 10 as well. That's just your initial smell on the nose. Taste, that's pretty normal. That's your
Pretty normal.
initial tastes. Aftertaste is the taste that happens after the initial taste.
The
It kind of
lingers.
lingers usually. And then drinkability is like a combination of taste and aftertaste, typically for me.
And color too. Like if it looks
Yeah,
good,
that's true.
I enjoy drinking it more.
That's
as
true.
opposed to
How
if it doesn't.
smooth it is,
Yeah.
how much alcohol burn is, that'll lose in the drinkability. And you add those all up to 100 points, and that is how I rate them. So we have 6 beers on our sheet, and we have 6 actual beers to taste. So that is the plan. All these beers are heavy. So after, well, actually, probably we only have 6. Last year we did 16.
16.
They were smaller pours. We're getting full 4-ounce pours here, though. So probably at the end of 6, we will have effectively had the equivalent of roughly 3 double IPAs, would be my guess, right?
Okay, if we're doing, these are 4 ounces.
We're like, yeah, they're 4 ounces. So we're gonna
But we're gonna
have
have 6
triples,
on
which
this.
is probably
Full,
equivalent to roughly
yes.
3 doubles, I would think.
It's essentially, yeah. It's
And that'll be done in under an hour.
It's a
So,
pint and a half
Yeah.
of triple IPA.
so we are gonna drink. So, everyone, let's just
We'll see how favorite.
everyone try it out. We'll do our ratings. We'll talk about our ratings on the drink afterwards. So,
I
you
enjoy
rate
it.
it how you want to rate it. It's all subjective, and we will declare something the winner. Do you have any questions? You get the rating system, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or do 0.5.
No, no
No
point five.
0.5.
It's out of 10. Just give it knock it off a point or whatever. I'm usually the most generous scorer,
It's got
so
a good dank to it. I like.
it does have a danky smell.
There's a good dank smell to it.
Sometimes you
That's
have no
like
nose.
color.
This has got good nose.
This is a good nose, yes. Well, if it's a triple IPA and has no nose, it doesn't belong in my face.
I do like the color
I
of
really
the
like the
beer.
color.
Yeah, it's a good looking beer, honestly.
Now, why is there no head on this beer?
It's hard to get a lot of head when you get to the high alcohol beers. It just is. You know, if you've ever noticed the big dark beers, they'll put those on natural lot so that you can get some sort of head. But for the most part, it's hard to get a decent head on a really high ABV.
Too much
This
alcohol?
is.
Less head.
That's so
I
confusing.
disagree with that rule.
I'm just saying that's the way it works.
It's the rule. It is kind of the way. It is kind of the way it works. Michael, you can start. What do you think about that?
What do you think?
Flavor?
Yeah,
What are we talking about?
anything.
Yeah, it's good. It's a little bitter, not too bitter, high in alcohol. It's got a nice color.
It is very high in alcohol.
Yeah.
That's a big beer.
I think I was reading it's like 13 something. I tried it. It was
It
really
is
nice.
very
So.
boozy, and I don't like the boozy. I think Bruce or A would like this better than me. And the aftertaste. is-
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So you guys call them boozy, and my first sip is not that boozy. But the aftertaste, the second hit is like, oh, hey, here's a little alcohol burn.
It's
Now
the
we're boozy.
alcohol
Usually
burn
the
on the
first
second.
thing is the boozy, though, for me on these. And this is definitely like boozy as a second note than the first note, which I think is really rare in a triple, honestly.
It is different. I don't know how they managed to pull that off, but it's not as bad, but it's akin to the mouthwash burn. The initial hit is mint, and then you get the burn towards the end. It's nowhere near that severe, but that's what I'm getting. You get hops on the front, and then it sits back with that alcohol burn, which just not a big fan.
Probably worth noting, in most cases, if you were to go to the brewery where you're getting this and you were to order a pour of one of these beers, you almost are always going to get a 10 ounce, sometimes a 13. Typically, it's going to be a 10, I think, in most places.
Unless
Unless you know them or they just do not give a fuck, and then you just get pints. Or if you're in the 20 ounce club, 20s.
We don't, they don't do 20s.
They'll
They
get
usually
15s.
They want
which is
20?
still, no, but they will 20 the juice, which is 10.5%. But
Sometimes the clouds are what?
Oh, it's like 9. I haven't had that. No, I have juice on tap.
Same as how hoppy.
okay, but still 20 ounces.
Different flavor profiles.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan. It's not a huge fan.
What happened to it? She's fine. She's
Yeah,
trying.
I scored mine.
I am not. I'm sorry, guys. I was too busy reminiscing about the
All right.
favorite.
I give it a 74. Do we have a spreadsheet?
Hold on. Well, I'll make one at the end.
Okay.
Well, let me finish my tasting before we go over. Why don't you go start talk about your tasting? Go ahead, talk about yours now. I'll finish my
I gave it really good appearance and smell, but the taste and particularly the aftertaste just did not sit well with me. That burn. So I have
So, you know, it's just about the 1,009%.
okay. That was 10. I don't know.
I'm literally looking at it.
I believe you. So, but still, 20 ounces of a 9% beer is just a lot of beer. So I overall, I like what it looks like and I like what it smells like, but that alcohol burn just is off-putting. So I gave it a 74. Plan?
So I gave it a 76.
Alright.
Appearance and smell good. I like the taste. Aftertaste I thought was better than most triples. But for me, drinkability, it is a one and done. It's not something I want to just sit there and drink.
Do you want to go over your score?
Yes, I gave it an 85. Yeah, I could tell it's a triple. Yeah, I could tell it's a triple. I don't know how much of it I could drink, but what I had, I enjoyed.
Hopefully 4 ounces.
Yeah, I like the aftertaste. It reminded me of the bitter finish, something like Inkerstein. It's something that I personally enjoy. So yeah, that was a decent beer for me. I give it more of a bourbon aftertaste where you get that alcohol finish. Yeah. And I'm just not a big, depending on bourbon, I like a smoother, smokier bourbon where the flavors kind of balance all the way through, but that's kind of what I get.
I was in between you guys. I give it an 80. I was a 9 on appearance. I just think it was a really pretty
too.
beer.
I gave it a 9.
I like the darker color beers typically, that little amberishness, like not like an amber beer color, more so than the pure sort of pale yellow that you get in a lot of them. I might give it an 8 on smell. I thought it was good, but I think it was quite strong enough, and I thought it was kind of one-notey.
Yes.
I did give it a 25 on taste, which was more of the first taste, which I did enjoy. It wasn't too boozy on the first taste, which was nice, because usually like we'll drink a couple where it's alcohol. I went with a 15 on aftertaste myself, just because I thought the burn was a little heavy, especially my first sip. I thought the burn was a little heavy on the aftertaste. As I continued to drink it, though, I felt like the aftertaste actually did improve, because like I was just sort of used to it, sort of expecting that additional secondary burn that I knew I was going to get, and I thought that really improved over time. So I give it a 23 on drinkability. I could absolutely order like a 13 of this, and I would not be unhappy with my 13 of it. I would say, would I order a second one? The truth is, I never order a second triple anywhere. So it's kind of a moot question. But I would be plenty happy to drink an entire like can of this, like, on my own. That's sad dad style, right? You only got time for one, make it a triple.
That's true.
Yeah, that is the philosophy right there of the sad dad, which is an Altamont beer, not like a statement on all of our lives.
Or both.
We're actually reasonably happy, dads. This has been a solid week. All right, some fun stuff happened last week.
Oh, I had
some sheriff tracked down some goat that got sold and not murdered. Just straight slaughtered that thing in front of some 9-year-old child or something. I don't know. That was the whole thing. What? They didn't really kill it in front of the child. You guys really didn't hear the goat story? Oh my god! All right, this is good. This story's good. Yeah, this is local. This story is good. So, you guys are familiar with 4-H, right?
Yeah.
So what I think 4-H does is they will, take high school or young kids, this girl is like 9, and put them in a 4-H club, and they'll give them a goat to raise or whatever, right? And they'll raise the goat for whatever, 6 months, whatever it is, right? And then the goat will then go up for auction. In this case, it went up for auction at the Shasta County Fair.
Right.
And the goat will then be auctioned out to people, and the goat will then be slaughtered, right? And the whole point is to teach the kids, hey, someone commented. Whole point is to teach the kids the art of farming, what farming's like, and the whole, birth to death sort of cycle and all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
So this 9-year-old girl raises this goat. She's in the pen, she's feeding it, right? She fucking bonds with it.
Oh, I named it.
She absolutely named it. So they go, of course they do. Yeah. I mean, we named our cow when we bought a full cow too, to be fair. So, We still ate the fucker, but nonetheless,
Well, we ate a quarter of it.
that's fair. So the goat got counted there, and obviously it gets auctioned off. Someone buys the goat. And at the end of the day, the goat hasn't been picked up yet, and the daughter's fucking frantic, right? She knows now the goat's gonna get murdered. She's hysterical about it.
Yeah.
So the mom is just like, oh, fuck it. And she just straight steals the goat. She just absconds with the goat. Not for real. So the mom absconds with the goat. The bought and paid for an auction goat.
That is theft.
It is absolutely theft. Absolutely theft. So they abscond with the goat. And then at some point, this goat ends up at this sanctuary called Pleading Hearts. I shit you not, Pleading Hearts. Goat sanctuary in Napa.
Okay.
This is a real story. So it turns out then that the mother's like, yeah, my daughter couldn't give up on the goat, right? Like, I'm sorry. Like, I know she's supposed to. She just couldn't. She's like, I will give back the money from the auction, any money incurred, right? There's no financial loss, right? And the person who ended up buying the goat ended up being some like district supervisor or something, right? What I read in comments, which may or may not be right, was that he was fine. He was like, it's really not a big deal. He was like, I've agreed not to murder the goat. We will take the goat. I'm going to donate the goat to one of the places that does like grass abatement and stuff, right? So the goat will just live its life eating grass, like in various locations, instead of being murdered and turned into, goat meat. What is goat meat called?
Goat meat.
Is it just called goat?
Yeah.
Oh, weird.
Makes great.
Why is lamb called mutton?
Oh, it makes great.
Oh my God.
And
that's great.
stews. Oh, goat
Why
meat.
is lamb called mutton? No, sorry, that's a sidetrack.
No,
No.
it's the preparation that makes it mutton.
Oh, okay.
Pretty sure. But it's
No,
because
it's
it's
a certain part of the
Yes, the
land.
lamb leg. That's the leg.
It happened in England when they were invaded, and you got words like cow, then became beef. And
I thought mutton was like the tripe and stuff.
No, mutton's like the leg.
you got a second elevated name for the meats in English. From the
So in this particular story, it turns out that that's not good enough for the county fair.
Oh, not yet.
Not yet.
Okay, because that was wisdom.
So,
We got smart people.
so this isn't good enough for the county fair commissioner, who's apparently is just mad about this, right? So she tells the sheriff to track down this goat.
Who's mad about it?
The county fair person, some lady. So she tells the sheriff to track down this motherfucking goat and go get it. So it turns out these sheriffs, two of them apparently, have to travel 500 miles, apparently, total trip, to get this fucking goat and take it away from the sanctuary that the kid was trying to save. And then they kill it, and that's kind of the end of the story.
I'm curious under the legal authority which gave the fair people the right to overstep the property interest of the person who fucking paid for it.
Well,
I don't know.
they probably have some type of contract.
Right, and I'm sure they do.
Yeah.
Right, but there is a contract, but if the purchaser, if you're going through a third-party intermediary, if the purchaser changes their mind or doesn't want to buy it, you still would owe the fair their cut. Everyone would have to agree to pay them their cut. But you don't have to transfer the property if the buyer and the seller agree not to. As long as the auctioneer gets their money, that would be the only part of their contract. Now, that was what they were trying to do, but still.
In the story, the sheriffs think I found out they get this goat and they take it away, and then they kill it. It's basically the story, and obviously the mother's kind of suing for distress, yada.
Absolutely.
Um,
They'll lose, but
Probably the more interesting point to the story is that we paid 2 sheriffs overtime for driving about 500 miles to pick up this goat that really nobody even cared about. Because that is how money works in America.
The kid cared about the goat.
But I mean, nobody who was paying the money to pay these sheriffs cared about that goat, right? Like, that's taxpayer money that really. If the guy, it's kind of like Beer Snob said, if the guy who bought the goat doesn't care, whatever. Or did you look at the story?
no, I'm looking up how much is goat meat.
It's expensive.
So that's.
It's about 1,000.
Yeah, $1,000 for goat. What did you pay?
Why did you sell $1,000 for a goat off top of your head?
No, I didn't. I read
What goat is
Oh, you read the story?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So yeah, I'm not making up weird stories. This story's funny. I mean, it's not good news, but it's sort of like funny news because
But that's reading
us,
news.
right?
It's $9 a pound. So a full goat for slaughter is not going to cost you $1,000. Because if I can buy it at $9,
Yeah, because it's not an auction. The auction for goats raised by kids, that's going to give you a premium.
and you
on the cost
probably
of
but
the
still,
goat. It's a
how much
fundraiser.
does it cost to drive from?
Oh, way more than $1,000.
Wait, technically, wouldn't those cops be out of jurisdiction?
No, because they know, number one, county does sheriffs, but number two, the property, and you could get the sheriffs there to agree, because what the sheriff in Napa is gonna say is, You know, I'm not picking, we're not turning 1 red cent to do this. You can come out here and do it. Or you're allowed to do it.
And you're paying those guys $100 an hour, easy.
And that is mind blowing.
So that's the whole thing. Right? Wow, that's the whole story.
Good rant of the week.
There's more to it. There's lots more to talk about this week. Some of it's really, really. So I have another one that I thought was pretty funny, which I will talk about after we taste this beer. Let's talk about this beer. Everyone else already tried it. I don't like the colors, but usually if I
like this. It looks very similar. It's a little bit
light,
but it's not too light. I like this color. I gave it a 9 again. Okay.
smell.
I'd give it a 10 on smell. I think that's exactly what I wanted.
That's a super nice smell. Yeah, I think 10 actually fly further. So yeah, that's the funny story. I'm glad you're ready to back you up on the weird goat story.
That's just, I don't know. That just seems weird. But it's also very, first of all, mom, I'm sorry, mom. You're in for.
See what did I started with the goat.
You're in 4-H. Like you gotta look at your kid and like, then you just can't do this for a living, honey. Like this is clearly not what you're gonna want to do, because if you're gonna do this over 1 goat, and this is what we do, that's what, like you said, 4-H is teaching you the recyclability of all things, not just plants, but the animals too. And most of them have names, and they all get sold at the state fair or the county fairs, and they're usually sold for slaughter. So, you know, I mean, it's just kind of what it is. I really like this beer. Really, really.
What does the money go to?
It goes to all these programs. Yeah, because they'll do programs in schools and things like that, and I don't think they take a big cut. And quite frankly, it's not exactly cheap to raise an animal. You know, I like this.
Are these all triples? These are all triples.
Every single one of them.
Well, you must have said it might not be a triple. Is that right?
No, it's just old.
Oh,
Wait,
yeah,
it's chicken?
everything's triple. No.
Usually,
You have to give one here. So yeah, add that into your left side. Big chicken is not.
it's not technically a
Big
triple.
chicken's 10%. It's basically a triple. So we'll add big chicken.
Right on the back.
So where are the big chickens?
That's a little.
Goat Boy. E-Buzz linked Goat Boy from Primark. I don't know what that is, but thank you for the link.
Thanks, so thank you for being on.
Oh wait, DC fandom. Is there a DC Goat Boy character? I don't know.
I mean, Marvel's got Squirrel Bill. I don't see why DC wouldn't have a goat boy.
And Marvel has
The big chicken is probably in yours.
Thanks, E-Buzz. I don't know what a Goat Boy is, but I'm curious.
All right, I will be back. I'm gonna try to find this here.
Okay, so
Okay.
okay, I'm gonna go over my ratings. I really, really like this. I think it's got a great balance between the alcohol, the hops, the bitterness. I think the color is great. I rated it above average across the board. Gave this bad boy an 89. Plant.
So I like the appearance of the last one a little bit better, but the smell on this one better. So basically my scores flip flop there. Taste great. Aftertaste to me was about the same as the last one. Drinkability a little bit more. And total of 80 for me.
And I'm gonna say that fairly certain there is a Goat Boy in DC because that was Eugene. And I'm pretty sure he's more up on those things than I am. So thanks for the hit, Eugene. We appreciate the visit. And yes, he tries to mention DC in every post.
Oh, thank you, sir.
So I rated it very high. Aaron rated it a little bit higher than the last one. Michael, what you got over there? That's
Mostly because of the drinkability.
It's very drinkable. I agree. I agree.
Kind of smell like
He disagrees.
I'm torn on this. I'm torn on this beer. I actually think maybe I rated drinkability too low here. The problem is that I believe that the drinkability on this beer is actually better than the sum of the parts. Because
Yes.
I think it looked okay. I think it smelled great. I just don't feel like there's a lot of taste. I'm not getting a ton of the hops. I'm not getting a ton of the notes I like right up front. I just tastes very. It almost tastes like a 10% like lager to me. Like I'm just not getting a ton out of it.
I
Personally.
would be curious to see, because we do acknowledge that there's at least one of these beers that's old.
It could be this.
And it
Absolutely.
could be this for you, because it's what the age will do to an IPA will start to bring down the hop flavor significantly over time.
Yeah.
And if this beer is a year old, it's entirely possible that we still get the aroma, but all those flavors that you were expecting and looking for
have settled out.
I do think the aftertaste is probably better than this in the last one because I didn't like the burn as much. But I just ranked it much lower on taste, and I ranked it lower on drinkability just because I just didn't feel like the taste was there. Like I think it's really drinkable. Like this feels like a crushable triple,
Yes,
but those aren't a fucking thing.
and that's why you might be
Which is
right.
why I think there's something wrong.
You might be right.
You know what I mean? Like
we really did.
I mean, honestly, I literally clutched this thing. I just don't. Like the last one was like hops. I could taste it. I could really sort of get into it. And I just don't get that at all, personally.
Over the last 2 years, we really found the June Bloom, the year it won, to be very, very drinkable. But the balance is all of it.
Yeah,
And scarcity last year, even though it was big, we also found it to be very drinkable.
Right. All right. Well, it's all right. All right. So, what's the next? Next moderately fucked up story of the day.
Okay, well, we can go politics if you want.
No, I got one. It's sort of this is a story I believe it came out yesterday.
Oh, okay.
This is sort of fucked up actually, but so there was a school shooting last week.
That's sort of fucked up.
Right. I'm not sure. Well, I mean, we can't talk about that, but there's just not a ton to talk about. I will note that the news today says that in fact several of their teachers were carrying.
That would be interesting if that were the case.
Yeah,
That's always the answer.
the
Make sure the teachers have the guns.
That's the interesting part to me is that the current news, like a reporter, an article came out either today or yesterday. That yesterday would be way more sketchy, but because fucking April Fool's Day. But there's definitely a story out there right now that says that some of the teachers were carrying, and they sort of double as security. And they didn't have actual security guards, but they had carrying teachers on campus. Which is only actually interesting because that is an argument people give. Oh,
how do you stop this?
Teachers carrying, they'll stop it, right? Well, I mean. The truth is, like, your teacher can have a 9mm all you want. This person rolls in with an AK blasting through the windows and stuff.
Vest.
Yeah,
I don't know if the vest is bulletproof or what, but loaded for bear.
They're not.
They're like military style.
The teachers, unless the teacher gets behind them and gets a drop on them somehow, like, they're just not going to get a whole lot. And that would require the teacher to leave the kids, get in straight sneaky, diehard fucking mode, and, like, roll up on them somehow.
Climb up in the,
right, and probably be a dead shot, no less, right? Because if they've got a vest, right, you just shoot them in the vest, right, it's just going to suck, right? But, like, they're going to
hurt.
Fall, turn around with their AK and spray the fucking hallway. You know,
so that will be.
So we'll see how that particular part of the story shakes out. There was some that was a fucked up story. There's some seriously tasteless stuff going on now. The Tennessee the Tennessee congressman's like last Christmas card was like a full guns. That's pretty fun. You know.
Well, I mean,
the principal that resigned for showing Michelangelo's statue.
Oh, that's a good story. Let's talk about that.
We definitely
I love that story. I love that story. Like, you know, it's making me sad. The goal one I just think is funny because of the ridiculous like waste of funds. The Michelangelo story is just hilarious on its own.
The one that I'm liking right now that's not sad that I find just the height of irony is, you know, they're talking about a 32 count indictment for Trump, right? That the federal
there's some felonies in there. That's
yes, and then but DeSantis says they won't help extradite.
Yeah. Well.
So to be clear, if you're in Florida and they suspect you're an illegal immigrant, they're going to put you on a bus and take you to New York. But if you're under felony indictment, I'm not going to put you on a bus and take you to New York. As long as your name is Donald Trump. Love you, Florida. See you in a month and a half. I'm still questioning that decision.
Funny tangent for the story.
You keep naming places you said you wouldn't go to.
I know. Well, I got approved. I went to Tennessee, but that was before everything went crazy.
That was already done.
I was already booked. And then I did talk to all the kids to make sure they wouldn't be offended. And they all looked at me and said, we would go to Disney World. So we can't exactly hold that against you. And I'm like, yeah, that's fair. But yeah, the other option was Ohio. And it's not like Ohio's any better. Although now, for those folks who like the rock scene in California, I'm torn. There's a really amazing concert in. No, but thank you. No. Pretty good. I'm torn. That's a fair point. There is a show. But she's not wrong. There's a show in Indio, California that's doing 3 days, double headliners all 3 days. Not this one. This one is Metallica and Tool on Sunday, Guns N' Roses and AC/DC on Guns N' Roses and AC/DC on Friday.
It's a bunch of different
And
music, isn't it?
no, it's AC/DC and Judas or Iron Maiden and someone
What's it called?
else. I forget. But
The one you're thinking of is like
Oh, it's like
Two
Hearts and Hearts.
yeah, this one's mine's in October. The exact same week as the festival I already paid for.
So October in the desert.
Yeah.
That wouldn't be that bad.
No, it wouldn't be. I don't think so, but I'm in Sacramento that week because that's Aftershock. By the way, hit me up if you're at Aftershock, see you in October. And some of the bands are the same. Tool's at both, Guns N' Roses is at both. They're gonna be going like this, like Guns N' Roses plays up there, down there on Friday, and then up here on Sunday. But I saw this show and I'm like, and it's Metallica and Tool on the same day. Nobody else at the table cares. I'm like, oh. Anyway, sorry. I
They're
digress.
all old now.
Metallica's releasing a new album right now. Tour is releasing 2 years ago.
I don't know, it's still about 20 years ago.
You said that.
That was
That
so
did not age well at all. Okay. I have to figure this one out. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the aroma on this one.
Okay, so here are other ridiculous stories. Let's tell my Michelangelo. All right, so
Yes.
you missed this story. There is a high school in Florida, and they were doing
course
like
it was.
an art history class, I believe.
Yes.
And one of the things that you tend to show in an art history class are the classics, like the Renaissance classics.
And art.
Among those is Michelangelo's David, which was originally commissioned to be in the center of a church, except the church thought it was so fucking good that they wanted more people to see it. So they put it in the center of a square instead.
The church wanted all the people to see it.
Yeah. So
To be
yeah,
clear.
the church. So apparently some parents complained to the district or the school or someone or the news about their child, their high school child, seeing pornography at the school. Because if you ever seen the statue of David, he's naked. His dick is definitely hanging out. It's not to scale.
We hope not for Mrs. David.
So I will. I mean, on a personal note, most people. So if you go to Italy to see David, the actual statue of David is in the Uffizi in Florence, but they have a full replica of it inside of the Palazzo where it used to be still. So you can go and you can see the replica just for free,
Right?
Sort of like checking out Florence. I think it's Florence. Pretty sure
Sounds right.
But if you want to see the actual one, you do have to go into it. You have to pay the fee to go into the museum. So I didn't see the actual, but I have seen the replica that's there. But yes, that's the whole thing. So eventually there was some fight over that, and the next thing was the principal resigned over it. I don't know if he resigned because he disagreed with them or because parents pushed him to resign because they even allowed it in the first place. It's Florida, so it's kind of impossible to say. Ooh, there is good Florida news for this week, though. Let's talk about this beer, then I'll talk about my favorite Florida news of the week.
Michael's like, what the hell did I sign up for?
I'll talk about my favorite Florida news.
Do not like, no liking.
Okay, me neither. I actually liked it more than the last one, but I actually didn't like either one of the two beers, so take that for what you want. For a breakdown, this appearance was fine.
I agree.
I thought it had no smell.
The smell was light and unpleasant.
Yeah, that's fair. I give it a 6. Taste I thought was
2.
Wow. There was basically no smell. It was a little bit. I gave it a 24 on taste just because I could taste the hops in it. I just didn't really like the hops. So I liked it more than the last one because I could taste hops. So I had to give it a higher rating than the last one. Like I said, I just didn't really enjoy them. Aftertaste I thought was definitely the worst of the beers we had so far. Drinkability, I went down to 20. I probably could have gone a little lower on that. I would not want to. I mean, look, I won't dump a lot of beer. I would probably finish my 10 or 12 ounce pour of this, but I really wouldn't be that happy about it. I might actually dump this and just get if I know there's something if we're on a bar and I try this one and I know there's like a hen house or like a humble seed that I really like some hazy juicy thing that I really like, I might actually just set this one aside and just move to something that's hoppy and full of orange juice, honestly. But if there's not it's not. I still think it's good. I don't know.
I'm in the exact same boat. It's something where if I had it and it was gonna be my only beer, we'd be good. If it was my only beer, 10 ounces, I'd probably finish it. But I'm definitely not going back for a second one. And if I poured a sample of this, I'm not ordering.
I would go with something.
Not good. I gave it an 8 against an 8 on appearance and a 7 on smell, but then just killed it. The taste and the aftertaste was awful, and it is not a drinkable beer. So I give it a 65.
Yeah, Flan?
60. Because the smell, for me, there was no smell.
Drinkability. Michael kills this one too.
The drinkability was, well, if I, like Shane said, if I had a taster of it, I wouldn't be ordering it. I might choke it down just because, make bad decisions at
I
times.
mean, the triple is still gonna be fucked up.
Exactly. There are better triples. Go ahead, Michael.
Oh, you guys can't see him. He's taking aces.
Savage.
Yeah, I gave it a 40.
Oh, yeah.
You ever had a beer before that had a watery finish?
Oh, that's a super good descriptor.
That's exactly, because they just took another sip, and that's exactly right. For a triple IPA, you're like, wait a minute. So I'm gonna say, I think this is the old beer. I think this is the old beer because of
That's not a crowd.
everything that we're coming from. I think this is, we should all take bets before we do it. I think this is the old beer.
I mean, I think this is
So you're gonna say number 2.
The one says 22 on it.
Oh, it actually has a date on it?
Yeah, I don't have a date. So
Yeah.
water finish
On the
is
label.
exactly the way to go. 100%.
Yeah, I don't know.
Go ahead, Michael, finish up.
Hey,
What do you mean the beer? You're like, comment.
Watery thin. I think it's a totally good explanation.
Ales,
To be honest,
ales.
it's really good. What's a good beer? I don't like plastic beers. I have no idea what if it's not the old beer, because our selection today looks like this. It looks like the Tin House's Big Chicken, Fieldworks Triple, which it's not Tundra. No, it's not Tundra. It's something else this year. I believe Drake is on here.
That's last year's.
Last year's Drake. Then Altamont Scarcity, Morgan Territories,
Sobriety.
yeah, Menace. Shadow Puppets, Rational Exuberance. That was Shadow Puppet. This was a very.
That's not a scam, to be perfectly fair.
I've had triple I'm just not big. And then there's one more. Oh, Mike Hess is in here.
Oh, okay.
And so is Danville.
Oh, wow.
No, I didn't buy it. Danville's triple is no, we have because we added Big Chicken.
Okay, big chicken. Okay.
Yeah, we have 6 triples, last year's triple plus
All right, then I'm gonna have to do
plus Big Chicken. So we have 8, right? So Danville is on here, which I've not had. I know it's not the Hess because I really liked the Hess when I tried it. And I like Scarcity, and I tried it. So that's the only 2 I know that it's not. I suspect it's not Menace because people really like Menace this year. A lot of good
Didn't it
reviews
win
on it.
something?
I think it did win something.
To be fair though, we should give a shout out to them.
Oh yeah, the Brewer of the Year.
Yeah, they had 3 gold medals, couple
Yeah,
silvers.
I mean, like 10 total medals. It's insane how many medals they win. And they make good beer. They're not, I love Altamont, but it's very IPA centric. That is not what Morgan Territory is at all. They make good IPAs, but they got great stuff across the board.
Very,
Their
very.
Bach is really good. Lock, Bach, and Ready to Rock. Make that beer.
Morgan's very well rounded,
I agree.
and they're about to open up a tap room in Pleasant Hill.
Yeah. Even though it's like not exactly that close for me.
Yeah, well, it's right down the street before.
You know, that was
Pretty good.
super good last week, or the week before last week at Epidemic. And they have an experimental pack now where they yeah, and I had a what the hell was it? It was like it was like a tangerine agave lager. And it was really, really good. And that's basically my whole story. They had an experimental, it was really good. If you're near Epidemic, go try it out.
They also
it's really good.
very, very
Also, the Pink Boots with Brew Hall is great. Brew Hall is well, actually both those breweries are female owned.
yes.
Brew Hall is female owned, and I think Epidemic is owned by a owned by a couple.
It's owned by a couple in the head brewery is, I think they share duties, but it is, yes.
Yeah.
It
So
is
I think
not,
Brew Hall is like
I agree.
straight
And
female like owner.
we do plan to have a Pink Boots show coming up, so stay tuned for that.
My other Florida story for the week. This is the best Florida story of the week, actually.
Right.
Those of you who are following Florida politics, which unfortunately is everyone in America, because as Florida goes, so goes the nation. Yeah. So anyway, my man DeSantis, he didn't do anything. A while ago, he got in a fight with Disney.
Yes, he did.
And,
We had this discussion.
Got in a fight with Disney, and he wanted to take away their rights of their special district.
Yes, especially.
Because the way it worked there, not a Disney specific thing, I might add. This is existence before Disney.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
What it means is that Disney has a plot of land, and Disney is responsible for all the maintenance, all the everything's on that plot of land. There's no taxes to pay there, so Disney covers it all. Well, Disney decided that they should speak out against the "Don't Say Gay" bill mostly, and DeSantis didn't like that, so he yelled at them a lot, and then eventually he passed a law, or the state Senate passed a law that took away Disney's ability to run this district. Well, Disney is quiet. Whole time they were quiet. Turns out they were working in the background. What happened was the day before that bill was signed, there was a meeting of the Reedy Special District Council, their board. This is all above board. All of it's in the notes.
Completely legit.
All of it was perfectly noticed. All that. And what the board did was they seeded all of the things that they do, with a couple of small exceptions, like maintenance on like certain things, like that. A couple of small exceptions. They seeded all from the special district board to the Corporation of Disney. And you cannot do something in perpetuity. That's a perpetuity. Sorry, that is a thing. So consequently, this particular agreement is binding for 21 years after the death of the last descendant of King Charles III of England's living relatives. So anyone born alive now that is a descendant of Charles III until they die, 21 more years after that. So in this case, the most likely answer to that is going to be Prince William, or Prince, actually it's probably Prince Harry's kid, I think is the newest of them.
Yes. Yes.
Probably 21 years after Prince Harry and Meghan's kid dies, then the
Assuming he doesn't have to.
no, they have to be alive now.
Oh, I get you. Okay. Oh, yeah, because that would be perpetuity.
Oh,
So you're right. Yeah, that would work out. So
Anyone alive now that's the descendant of Charles III counts, and anyone born next does not count.
okay.
So 21 years from this.
What if they were already pregnant?
Well, I mean, in Florida, I think it would count, right? Like you can do carpools in Florida for pregnant.
No, that's actually true. That's a very fair point. If one of those relatives is actually pregnant, they consider it life, so that would count too.
So I think that's fine.
Fair point.
I don't think that, I don't think Meghan's pregnant. So, but yeah, so that was
And it was last year. It was,
okay. Yeah, very had chickens though.
but either way, this was long enough ago that there would be signs.
Right. Actually, so that was the big thing. So the best part of this whole story is that DeSantis' board for this new special district that they renamed was all just hand-picked fucking GOP megadons.
Oh, absolutely.
Who were apparently not paying enough attention to watch any of the previous things, and they were just caught completely off guard now. And they didn't even know this was things. They're just like trying to fight it, but it's hilarious because look, the fucking mouse knew what it was doing.
So if we go with, say, the youngest or descendant of Prince Charles.
Yeah, it's currently living descendant, which is probably
Let's go with 2 years old. Okay, so you're looking at an 8, yeah.
Well,
Probably
unfortunately, that kid lives in America, so his life expectancy is only about 72 years. So realistically, the older kid actually lives in England. It's got about an 8-year better expected life expectancy just from not being in America. So
in healthcare, but
consequently, it's sort of a wash. You look at about 90 a year.
Yeah, it's probably.
They all live kind of long. But it turns out in America, this is actually a funny story from this week too. Turns out in America, how much money you make and what level of income you're at and what bracket or class, whatever, doesn't matter that much for life expectancy. Our life expectancy is simply lower than life expectancy basically everywhere else. Granted, the rich people live longer than the poor people, right? In America.
Yes.
But they also live longer in England and everywhere else, except the rich people in America live not the same amount less than the rich people in England as the poor people in America do than the people in England.
That's part and parcel because we have extra ways to die that they don't have in.
I just think it's great. It's really funny. Yeah. Apparently the average life expectancy now for an American is equivalent to the lowest life expectancy town in England.
You know what it is? Triple IPA.
I don't think so. I disagree, sir. Although technically, hold on, you might be right because in England they tend to drink 4.5-5% warm beers. It could be refrigerated. It could be refrigerated.
That's beer mile legal.
That's the point though. It's not even beer mile legal. But yet America creates the beer mile with a beer. Which are we going to do that this year, by the way?
We're going to do the beer mile. Signs available?
I don't know. I thought you could sign up last year. You probably.
I'm definitely doing the beer mile.
I'm going to do the beer mile again. Okay.
Mm.
So, are you
Next tangent.
Are you familiar with Dusty Bottom's running group out in the valley there? So once a year they put on a beer mile event, and there's two entries: the regular beer mile and the ultra beer mile. For the beer mile, you start at a table, 6 or 8 different runners, and you have to completely drink a can of beer, unopened. So you have to open it, slam it, run a quarter mile. Go back to the table, drink your next beer. Another quarter. 4 times, 4 beers, 4 quarter miles. You cannot puke or drink at all, or you're disqualified.
No time for you.
You know Randy, right? locally the runner, he's been their ultra champion 3 years in a row, which is 6 beers at a mile and a half. And he did it with like 12 minutes last year.
Yeah, dude, his 6 lap mile time is like the same as my 4 lap. It's ridiculous.
But he's also drinking 6 beers. It is insane. It's a lot of fun. We go on the all day.
It's all above 5%, right?
And
5% is the minimum.
yes, 5% is the minimum.
Which is like
Don't
straight
do
bud.
something.
Yeah, and no, you can.
No, I'm just saying, don't do that. You can, but don't.
Bud's viable. Bud's viable.
Bud's not quite. Quarters is, Bud is not. And
I think
also,
isn't Budweiser like 4.5?
it's like 4.8. Yeah, but it's a fun thing, and if you're interested, we'll probably go. And we just try to all hang out for the day. There's a whole bunch of us locally that go, and it's a good time. And we have someone drive us home because and you're
Wait,
pretty
you
much there.
drove you guys home the last couple times.
Corey drove himself home last couple times.
I said we have somebody in the Royals.
Oh, no, it's fine. No, it's fine. It's 4 beers. They're all 5%. You drink them, and then you hang out for like 2 hours watching everyone else run. And they also give you like a fat ass burger.
They do. You get from
Fusio's,
I think it still is.
So you do get to eat, just hang out, plus this whole auction thing, the whole
I'll let
raffle
you know
going on.
what it
It is a lot of fun.
The last thing is you get to choose your own beer. I've chosen a several. Last year, what do you do?
I think the Cali
Cali
is
I think is the one I like the best personally.
I agree with your mother.
You're welcome to come join us. It's really fun.
You definitely need one that won't get you bloated.
Well, the bloat.
There was the year of the White Claw 2 years ago. When White Claw first became a thing, and all the girls were doing White Claw runs.
That's too much fizz.
This is not to say anything about gender. It's just the fact that literally,
Literally, a bunch of girls did White Claw. Not a single person finished the White Claw mile. I think they thought it might be easier, to be honest with you.
but it's so.
No, I'm just saying white claws in general.
People were busted. Nobody made it through. They actually banned it the next year. They were like, no more White Claw, guys, because everybody puked.
Although you do get an award for best puke.
That is true. There's a sword for spirits, also a costume run, in case you want to do a costume. So you know it's a costume.
We should do a costume.
Okay. Fine.
It's got to figure out.
Unicorns?
I unicorn onesie now. All right, we're good then. Whatever. I'll do it.
Well, there's one's a bear and one's a unicorn, but they're both rainbow. Although that's
It's only
awful to
$30
run.
if you have to buy one.
Somebody's got to come record it. It'll be part of our amazing race video.
I agree. Someone has to come record it. I gotta figure this beer.
So let's figure out. It's really fun. We've done 4 years or so.
When is it, though?
I think I might have skipped last year. So I think it's for my joy. I had to skip.
No, you tore something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had the video.
I think I skipped last year. It's like, oh my God.
Is that when you was
Yeah, it was the surfboarding.
Didn't go. Let's talk about this beer. All right, let's talk about my yours. Okay, so I think this beer is good. I think it looked not great. I think it might have smelled the second worst of the beers. I just didn't like it that much. It had some smell, but it wasn't too great. But I really think it nailed it on taste. I feel like I can get the hops. I feel like they're actually
Saturday, September 16th.
What, the beer mug?
Mm-hmm.
That's fine. So I did there, and I thought the aftertaste was probably the best we've had so far, personally. And I think it's the best drinkability of all the beers I've had so far. So I tied it with beer number 1 at an 80, but it would be better, except I just didn't think it looked or smelled as good as beer number 1. So constantly at the time. This is actually probably my favorite personal beer of the 4 we've had so far.
Really? I'm not.
Yeah, personally. Obviously, I'm not rating for you guys. It's personally worse. It's kind of like when I go on Facebook, I'm like, in my opinion, you're like, yeah, motherfucker, you're writing it. We know it's your opinion. Sorry, it's rant.
I gave it a 77. I'm not. It's
That's
not.
not bad.
It's not. Yeah, but it's not. Beer number
You
2.
made it a second favorite, though.
It is my second favorite, but it's just not.
Great
There's
vibe.
not a whole lot there that I don't know. It's just.
Flan, what you got?
oh, I figured this one.
Oh, he did.
Not worse than last one?
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Like the taste, the aftertaste, just there was no smell. There was no smell. The initial taste.
You got to smell worse on this one than the last one?
No, it was the same thing to me. It was like I just can't smell anything.
You need some coffee beans to sort of.
We are in 4 in.
I'm getting good buzz. I'm feeling pretty happy.
Yeah,
Because I'm like
yeah,
serving
just the-
them quickly, so you guys have
the
to drink
taste,
them.
the aftertaste on it was, I think, or the alcoholic taste.
The taste on front just, I don't know, just hits the palate wrong.
Yeah, I would. And going back, I think I may rate beer number one better than this one, but not by much. What do you got, Michael? Do you like this?
Yes, I give this an 88. This is my highest rated one.
Oh, see?
Yeah.
And you rescored some.
Yeah, I'm changing stuff. So it's got a good caramel bitter balance. It feels really dialed in. Like it's safe and solid. Like I describe this beer as handsome, you know.
We need to bring Michael more. I using really good descriptive words where I'm like, it tastes good. And he's like, it's handsome. That's fucking
I'm like,
descriptive.
it doesn't assault my senses nearly enough. Low rating.
Yeah, it's not a challenging beer. It's
I think he's super accurate. I think he's right. I think it's just a good beer. It's got good flavor. It's got good aftertaste. Like, I just think it's a good
Just
beer.
saying, your descriptors. You need to give me some buzzwords. I can start using them. It's a handsome beer. It's not challenging. I'm already buzzing.
and I'm pretty toasty now. It's all downhill from here.
Yeah, you probably have to like compete. I think I told it you were probably.
I rode a scooter, so I can walk.
I was like, it's still a DUI.
Technically, walking while drunk is illegal too, but yeah.
There's no police for living, so it's fine.
But the cop is a complete DB.
We live in a lawless hellhole. It's fine.
Basically, as long as you're not getting belligerent with people or peeing in public, that's usually what they get you for, is peeing in public.
Peeing in public.
Oh,
No, that's not really what it is, actually.
that's not really what face left.
So here's a TV recommendation for those of you who watch TV. The show is called Geordie Shore. It is the British version
You
of
watch
Jersey Shore.
shit.
No, it's
It's actually
great.
her.
Ever.
It's definitely her.
Oh my god, it's great.
Fucking awesome. It's just.
You said it's her, and you're wrong.
She comes in every now and then
I
and
don't
gets
catch
sucked
a
in.
whole lot, dude, and they're just like getting every night they're just getting fucking faded, and every night these dudes like, I'm gonna pull tonight. Every night they manage to pull some hot chick back to the place. Everyone's fighting. The girls are so drunk. One girl's just like gets drunk and
Pees on the couch.
wherever the fuck she is.
Wherever she wants.
Pees anywhere she wants. Like,
Wait, these girls they bring home?
no, one of the many
live
house
there.
For the
sweepers.
people who live in the house. That's better. That's better.
What was the show everyone's peeing in the hat?
That was Jersey Shore,
That was-
where they peed in
There
the
was a
center
Jersey Shore
console.
just like kept peeing in the consoles, yeah.
No, they
A lot of
only
peeing.
did it once.
A lot of drinking involved. It's a Geordie Shore. It's like the best of
Oh
the
my god,
shores.
it's so good.
Best of the shores.
This is the shit I don't watch because
Well, and it's the best.
this is why humanity is fucking doomed.
The
No,
better
that's Florida.
the better part is the
Jersey Shore's not much better.
I'm not a
but
Florida
the
story.
UK version is better because you can see nudity, you can see the bad words, you can see all the
That is
stuff that
true.
you can't
I'm sorry,
see
yeah,
in
America's
the US.
technical position on television and
Plus,
words
plus
and
they're worried
nudity.
about it. The girls like the fuck, and they're like, yeah, I like the fuck. One girl's like, I'm cock scared, and they're just trying to get her hooked up, like, so she can like get over her cock fear.
Yeah, she got over it.
She got over it.
Is that a thing?
I don't know why she got cock. I don't know why she got cock scared.
I don't remember.
Like, are you just generally cock scared?
No, she just
She
became
became
cock
cock
scared.
scared. I don't even know how.
I think it's because she
Literally a
felt
season-long thing.
one of the other guys in the house, and then since they stopped sleeping together,
That's really,
but they were no
clever.
longer sleeping together. So
Like,
she
look,
got-
here's the reality, you guys. American TV is fine,
it's
but
just not a
the
good
British,
American
English
TV
version-
not even PG.
the British, especially reality shows, the British and Australian versions are simply better. We just finished we actually just got done left of Australian Survivor, and the Australian Survivor season this year is all-time epic OG Survivor action. If you're a big Survivor fan from back in the day with strategy, but not overly many twists and all that stuff,
Right.
Australian Survivor season is, dude, it's fucking great. Really, really good.
I never liked Survivor to begin with, so they.
Yeah, well, you like
it is literally the worst of humanity.
No.
Watching that part of it, but then all the rest of it's like,
All the Australian ones were great though, 'cause it was actually like politics involved that are like big politics.
That's really clear.
Yes.
Almost see Michael through it.
Is that because of the beer or because of the bus?
which eye were you using? The one that was going through the beer?
Yeah, I've done that before. That's never good. Really. I can see now. I can see.
He's really nailed me with fucking Cinco so far. Still.
No, I don't like it. You don't get any aroma. I thought this was great.
Coffee. Those who knows with coffee.
That's tasty. You don't think so?
Too fruity.
It is kind of fruity, you're right, but it's so clear and light. I don't remember what it looked like.
So is this one?
Ooh, that's fruity. And she got head too. She's getting better at it.
Is that true, Corey?
I mean, if we're like going on like a long-term sort of timeline, clearly the first couple didn't have as much head as they have now. Right. Good quality head here. Right. Sometimes it's more, sometimes it's less, but it's consistent. They all have head.
Baby PC.
And this is what happens when you drink. We're on your 5th Triple IPA.
Yep, hasn't
And it's been less than an hour. So, okay, so I'm torn. I kind of like it. I kind of don't like.
Fine, I'll fucking start. This is my favorite beer so far. I love the fact that like it nails you with really yummy, fruity hits right away, which masks the alcohol flavor.
Yes.
And I just feel like it's the most drinkable of the beers for sure. I only give it a 7 for smell. My nose is maybe it's broken, but
Which we just done.
But I think the appearance is good. It was a nice clear coat, very clear. I thought the aftertaste and the taste were good. I actually rated the drinkability lower, but I'm just not really into drinkability on triples, so that's mostly on me.
They're not very drinkable.
But no, I think this one's really good. I give it an 84.
I gave it a 79. It's my
It's number 2 for you.
it is number 2. My problem with it, going back to Michael, is the finish is it's not as watery, but it's just not as
So it's not as fancy.
it's up front.
No, that's different.
It is up front, but it is not it doesn't stay, it doesn't linger on the palate as much as I would like.
It's not as
It's
it's
kind of
quick.
quick because it does. It just kind of leaves.
I mean, after you get that much head, it just shows up. Like you get a quick finish.
Usually that's what you like, but this one didn't have that much.
Timing issue.
Like you get the head, and then you just
No, with the head showed up, then it's finished.
So you guys also know you're not drinking water in between, which is making a huge, well, Corey is,
that is true.
which is making a huge difference.
I promise.
Yeah, you have a water, but I haven't, okay.
I haven't, so I should probably. I'm gonna get
Because that does make a difference.
I actually really enjoyed this. Yeah, this is the fruitiness. I like the hops, and it's like they're not super bitter. They are very much like stone fruity to me. I don't know. It's funny about them whenever you're tasting these like triples, especially after 4 or 5. Like you'd think they would all taste the same, but you just sort of get more drunk. So like I think they just start to taste like more interesting as you go. It's sort of a weird dichotomy where you're like, am I just more drunk? Someone's rating it differently, or is it really different? How much better? Very hard. That's like 2 years ago some menu.
No, that was, no. I wasn't here last week to do that. I made good food.
You always make good food.
She was gone all week, and I had to fend for myself. I'm kidding. She made me 3 completely makeable meals, like prepped them before she left. Yeah.
nice.
She's the nicest, you guys. And she brought me a case of Fall River home. I mean, she didn't look at my photo, so we don't have any blood orange IPA to try, but it's okay.
I didn't actually like the blood orange
I
IPA.
actually love
I think blood orange is good.
Oh, well, I didn't
It's
get it
always
for
a very.
it.
Somebody
It is-
don't like it.
Orange, it always depends on who makes it.
Morgan
Morgan's
has something, right?
Mad Badger Blood is consistently good.
Yeah. No, I
Um,
didn't know.
again, Altamont,
Same for.
Shot Away Blood Orange.
I was thinking the same.
It's
okay.
it's always up or down. It's like you get it, it's either like super orange
Or it
or
tastes
there's
like
like
baby
nothing.
or it tastes like baby aspirin.
We never did the baby last.
I remember
There are some.
I remember the first time I ever had
It's just it's either you get the super orange flavor or you just it tastes like your normal IPA.
Yeah, that's true.
Because it's not a special, they just make them one of their IPAs with flavor. So it's never
like just blood orange was actually at the kitchen. It was yeah, it was part of one of the dishes, and I was like, that was great. I was like, can I just get like more blood oranges? So I mean,
They brought a plate.
So they legit went back and they brought me a plate of like cut, peeled, and segmented blood oranges to eat.
I love it.
You've been in the kitchen. Yeah, you've been in the kitchen too. You've been.
Just go. We're still working on the last.
Well, you don't finish talking. You're supposed to talk about. You need to talk about your pie stuff.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, you talk. We're on air. We're on air.
You said
There was a blood tangent.
so.
Oh, which one? Right on the because orange. We'll link that right on the tangent.
Right before that,
Yeah.
Right now.
So the appearance and smell are right with the 1 and 2. Taste, yeah, for me was about middle of the
You
road.
just don't like the fruity stone fruity thing. That's not your jam,
Yeah.
right?
But it was a lot better than the last one. Aftertaste, decent. It did hit the back of the throat a little bit, like sort of
Like a burn, like a burn.
it's like a bitter
Oh,
aftertaste.
I hate that when it's all the way in the back.
Yeah.
Like,
And drinkability, I gave about 20, so 68 total.
So you gave it an 8.
68. Which is still my
Michael likes
third
it.
one.
Okay, I described this as creamy lemonade Pilsner like triple. Very fruit forward. I gave it a 90, so it's now the highest scored one.
I think he's just gonna make it here.
Well,
Like Masked Singer, where we just keep them off camera, because yes, these descriptions are just like, can I use words for a living? It's like my gig, and I'm not, but they're not. It's like Louis.
So Steve, you got a 90. 90 is a good score. Like, I think the highest score we've ever had rating these. We've been rating this sheet since fucking COVID.
maybe that's when
I think it was a 90. My highest was like a 94 or a 96, something like that. It's very high. It's very 90 is rare, honestly.
I probably need to recalibrate.
No,
It's not-
no, you'd be surprised. No,
This,
it's very calibrated.
the most important part of this is none of this is we're not official beer people. Your opinion of what it tastes like, what it does for your palate, how it hits your nose. That's what we want this for, right? Because that's part of this is with everything else, you know, like when you go to a restaurant, some people love the food and some people hate the food. You want to hear everyone else's opinion. That's why we do this. So no, you don't recalibrate.
Funny, this one's funny. This one's funny. This one's funny. So apparently there's a video of some dude. I want to say this is in like the South Bay, but I could be wrong. He gave this boba tea company a terrible rating, and the boba tea company said, "Dude, this guy's a fucking joke." And they released a video. The dude's in the corner, drinking his fucking boba tea, reaches in his pocket, pulls out a bunch of lint. There's lint on the table. Opens his fucking boba tea, pushes all the lint in, and then complains. And when
They got him on camera doing it.
yes, and then when they're
Love
like,
it.
when they're just like, "You fuck off, bro," he goes and he like posts it on Yelp. He gives him like a 1 star with all the lint, and they just like, "Yeah, here's a video. This guy's a douche." What do you even do for that? Fucking douchebag,
People just want to be the anti person, the
fuck, dude.
Well, but no. There's also
Boba tea place.
there are people who do these kinds of things because if you give a place a bad review, they'll call you. Hey,
They will. Okay,
let's come back in.
I never
We'll
do
get you
that.
some free boba,
That's true.
right? We'll get you some
That's
free
fair.
stuff. So if I leave a bad review, I bought 1 boba, but I can get 2 or 3 or 4 more free bobas. But you don't even have to put the lint in it. Just
I never give a bad review unless I've been there more than once.
I want to offer promotion to
Never mind. Promote us to the amazing race, bro. We want to get drunk and travel the
go
world.
to dogehype.no.
Yeah, don't.
Oh, those
Don't click on the link.
bad news.
There's
Guys. Crypto.
Crypto, no bueno.
Yeah, I love that gets posted, yet there's not an extra viewer.
Now he posted and left. It's
I know.
fine.
Yeah.
It's okay. We're gonna post to YouTube. We're going to consistently record every Sunday for the rest of
That's
the year.
the problems you have.
Whether or not we're together, one of us will record a show. Whether
And if
it's
we're separate, we can do 2 shows.
we can do a blind tasting, or we can play the video game that we're playing while drinking and talking about a couple beers. We just got to get like a good hour. of
We
time.
should get some games that we both like to play. Like I'm thinking about Diablo 4. I don't know if you're a Diablo guy.
I mean, I used to play Diablo 2 back in the day.
And then there's.
That was like 100 years ago, I think. At this
I will also say that I've determined after last pub crawl, I don't suck as bad as I thought I did.
Mario Kart. Can we stream that on the
Thanks to
Switch?
Michael. You can absolutely stream that on the Switch.
That's fine. I think I'll have the kids Switch. I mean, I
I
fucking
can
paid for it.
borrow the wife Switch or the kids Switch or the kids
You also
Switch.
fucking paid for it. So yeah,
I paid
it's
for it.
fine. It's
I'm the only person in my formerly five-person house who doesn't own a Switch.
We can actually stream.
Six-person.
The kids
Yeah, 6 people who have or who presently or formerly lived in my house as my children, and my wife and I. One of us doesn't have a Switch. But I never really thought
They have a PS5, a PS4, a
PS5,
PS3.
and a PS2, and an Xbox.
We have a way for streaming that way.
You can absolutely, you've got to buy the things.
Have your wife work that out.
We can work it. No, I've got the equipment for it. For myself.
You just gotta tell them.
I don't have the channel. I don't have my own channel.
That is true. If we're gonna, we have to figure out how to
Only
do
one
it.
of them.
We'll figure it out. But anyway,
Well, what if we're gonna try to stream monthly, try to stream weekly? Whether it be playing some Magic or some Genshin
ooh,
or
I would do some
whatever the hell you're playing.
D&D.
I stream on the PS3 too. Eventually, I'm supposed to finish Final Fantasy VII Remake, Episode 1. Also, I bought Spider-Man Miles Morales, and I also bought Phoenix Rising, so I have 3 I'm supposed
Ooh,
to play.
Phoenix Rising does look
I know, right? It's by the same people who make Assassin's Creed, and I love
good.
Assassin's
I
Creed.
love Assassin's Creed.
It's just like Assassin's Creed, except like with wings. So I'm in.
And I really did enjoy how it works. I don't know if you played that.
I didn't play Hogwarts, not out of some sort of political issue, because whatever. You know, I mean, I don't agree.
With the regular.
Harry Potter.
I actually don't.
We've had this discussion
exactly
where there's
that's like the determinant. That's never like the term I would personally use.
right, but it's one of those things where, you know, they make comments that are hurtful to people who are transgender.
Yes,
Especially male to female trans.
That is
Very much hurtful.
Right. I actually think the whole TERF acronym is really difficult to get behind or explain. But it's not for that reason. I just have a lot of other games I've been playing. I've been playing Genshin mostly.
And not for that, like me with World of Warcraft, you always creep back to the Magic.
Yeah, I usually love it. I love Magic. I think Genshin is really fun.
Genshin is
personally
combat terrible. I need to restart and figure out the combat. I might be better on console with it because just
don't restart. Sir.
like suddenly hitting a B button to attack makes no sense to me.
Oh, E.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, your elemental skills. Yeah. It's just funny. You play WoW.
There's it's none of it's most of it's number bound or it's mouse, you know, macro bound. That's
no, regular attack is still left click, right click is dash, E is a skill, and like I don't know, the one
that's the point.
But you
like,
can smash it.
I know I need to do that.
I just like to control down for most MMORPGs personally. It's been a lot of time to them. I think it's fun. Is it the best game of all time? Probably not, but it's really fun. And I've been slacking off on it.
The graphics are gorgeous, the customizability of the characters and the outfits.
I just opened up like 2 days ago. I told the kid, I was like, yo, I welded up.
Does anyone smell anything? No. Anything at all? Like anything?
No, that's pretty good. Okay. So I welded up. I told her, I was like, yo, I welded up.
Just my smell.
I was like, yo, I welded up.
That's why
Kid's like, what did you even buy? Turns out, yeah, I spent some money on Genshin. I spent $50 the other day on Genshin. And I literally bought 2 outfits for my kids.
So that's where, and I'll admit, like it hasn't over the years in World of Warcraft we have purchased for producer D mounts and collectible pets and those kinds of things, which is fine, you know, because it's like $15 here, $10.
But you're also paying a monthly subscription fee now.
Correct.
You are. I'm not. Well, that's
$13.
So in theory, you can play games for free. The reality is that I pay for the welcome every month, which is $5, and I tend to pay for the battle pass, which is $10. So I effectively pay $15.
I effectively pay.
But I don't have to. I just get money.
And that's.
So I don't feel bad donating another $50 honestly to their cost. Like I feel like good games are worth money. Like trust me, I've spent way more than $50 worth of my life on Genshin. Those fuckers deserve to get money. I've got way more than $50
That's exactly the point. Are you getting like I spent $70 to get Hogwarts?
Yeah, okay.
And I played it for 60 plus hours. That's totally worth it. $1 an hour? Who doesn't? You spend $5 an hour to go to the movie theater to watch a movie, not including popcorn. So yeah, $1 an hour, if $50 over the course of a year is nothing. I totally agree. I can't smell anything.
There's no smell. Oh my god, you got some licorice?
I love licorice.
I'm sneaking one more beer in on you.
Was that coffee beans?
Chocolate colored almond cider.
Blueberries. Mullen? Hey, I might as well have one too. Dark chocolate blueberry.
No, blueberry, right?
Well, considering popped in the box after I said blueberry, no, not.
What? Okay.
You're good now.
Now we have sound. Okay.
Yes, we do.
Okay, we'll start for the last 45 minutes. No fucking. Hopefully, you amazing race guys don't watch this one. Jesus Christ. You missed all my rants. You did get the goat round. I hope they got the goat round. It's probably only been about 20 years. It's probably been since I plugged in my the charger.
But anyway, so to review, first of all, to review, no likey beer, likey beer.
Lovey beer here.
Yeah.
Lovey
So
beer.
that was for beer number 7.
That was 7.
Yeah.
Two more to go. All right, so basketball wise, Caitlin Clark, she looks awesome. Seriously. So no, for real, you guys get to see the video where she waves off. So we're in the Final Four. And South Carolina's the number 1 team in the nation. They've won 42 games in a row. So international championship. And Caitlin Clark's just this fucking savage from Iowa.
Yes.
And there's a spot where
They called her.
they're in zone, effectively.
Right at her shooting range.
And
It's stupid.
Caitlin Clark is right about the fucking free throw line. The person she's supposed to be guarding is the South Carolina point guard, right? And she's out of the line. Caitlin Clark looks at her and goes, and just turns and looks at a completely different person. Just leaves her like the distance from her to the shooter is, God, 8 feet.
Yeah, no, it is. She's literally
She's like, yo,
saying, shoot,
you can't fucking shoot.
you're not going to make
You
this.
can't fucking shoot
I'm
this.
going to guard her because your best bet is to pass it to her, and she's going to make it.
Girl looks
It is
at her.
stone.
Girl looks at her and the girl's like, fuck, you can just almost feel the defeat in her face. And then she fucking pauses and she passes the ball off. She was fucking stumped, dude. Stumped.
It's her gameplay. Again, when you say someone scores 41 points in a
She
game,
triple double the Elite Eight game, right?
yes.
It's like 41, 12, 10 or
And when
something.
you say someone scores 41 points in a game where somebody scores 80, 85 points, you would think that it was
It smells
a lot of ball hawking, and she is not. She
This
is
is the clearest beer
she's averaging 10 assists a game. Like, she is on fire. I want them to win.
So I
Although
also
have you
on
seen-
Team Iowa, but I haven't actually watched the LSU game. So.
But have you seen, you have to look. Okay, so here's, from my perspective, there's 2 parts about this game that's fun. One is Caitlin Clark. The other one is LSU's head coach's outfits.
Oh, the ruffles?
Her granddaughter came out with the same pink ruffly jacket. She was holding the grandbaby in the pink. There were like flowers that were this big going down her arms on both sides, and the grandbaby had the same jacket on. It was the cutest thing, and she's always in this crazy gear, but girl could coach. Her teams are good. So I think it's gonna be a good game, but I don't know.
All right, I have something to say about the beer.
We're on number 8 now, correct? Yes. I'm also not a big fan of this. Michael, have you been watching the NIT or the women's basketball? Not the NIT, but the women's. No, not a sports guy.
Mostly curling.
Curling.
I'm from Minnesota. I like
Do you
Minnesota?
Yeah.
How come you never interested in this with A?
Canada?
Minnesota is basically the most Canadian of the states.
It's my 4-legged years from Colorado.
Did you say a boot? Don't they say a boot in Minnesota?
In my relatives.
That's more. Do you call something a pop? That's Minnesota throwback.
That is
Shout out to
Minnesota.
Dave and Jenny. She's like, do you guys have any pop? Soda. Do you have any soda, Corey?
We have pop? Like, you mean like on
Fuck is
the
pop?
radio? Like, yeah, we can play some,
And I call it
Britney
soda
Spears.
pop.
Oh, that's too many words.
It's
I was not aware you were from Minnesota. I knew that you were in for college from Colorado, right?
Yeah.
That's where you met the wife, right?
Yeah.
Because her family's there. I knew that because we ran an event together. We ran the Boulder Beer Chase together.
Yeah.
Yes, we did.
Oh, you toughed the shit out of that last leg.
Yeah,
man.
you
I
did.
know you tapped out
Boys
the
move.
fucking the cousin or the cousin-in-law or something, but you ravaged that first half of it nonetheless, even after fucking eating bad nuts.
That's right. I got
You
food
were
poisoning.
Yes.
It felt really bad for you.
And we were talking about
No, that's really what happened. That was really what happened. He ate rancid nuts.
That's fair,
He
though.
ate the rancid nuts, and about 4 miles into the final leg, he was like, "I'm gonna fucking die." And his I want to say his like sister-in-law or something. Was like, I can just run it. Like basically all of us were like, we can probably just run it, but she was definitely the fastest of like the remaining runners. And she fucking handled it. We all went in there, got some beers. It was awesome.
It's a great event.
That
I'm
was
still
great.
going to go to San Diego.
That was fun.
I would have signed up for that for
I was
sure.
sending them. They are still doing the one in Colorado and the one in.
I mean, I would do Boulder again, but I would only do Boulder again if it all worked out the same. Like the fact that we didn't have to
I
take
know,
lodging
but
for
you gotta be able to
it's
get
incredibly
people.
important to our Boulder experience.
The Oregon. What was that cheese?
I like the
Bend.
Bend. They're the same. They're the same company. Just one does one in Bend and one does one in Boulder.
That was awesome.
Oh, we are Bend. You are Bend too, right?
No, he didn't
I
do
did.
Boulder.
No, he did both.
I did both.
Oh, did you?
And
Oh no, it was Greg.
Greg did only one of the
Yes, Greg did Bend.
Greg did Bend. And then we Carla did Boulder with us, and the sister-in-law as well. Both did Boulder with us. This is the last year of us, right?
Yes. This is.
They had order on the board.
Yeah, it's safe to say.
Wait, did you call this one awful? This one right here?
Yeah, no, it's not good.
All right, good news, guys. I got a 93 on this one. I'm either way too drunk, or like these are just melting my hops. Because I fucking love this beer again. I love this beer again.
Wow, I gave this thing a 60. Wait, yeah, 66.
You didn't have the 10 appearance though, right?
48. It's a 9 out of 10.
This is a beautiful
It's a
beer.
beautiful looking beer. It doesn't smell great.
It smells great.
No, it doesn't.
Stone fruit.
It doesn't taste. No, it tastes like rancid stone fruit. Okay, we will not.
Okay, go smell it real quick then. I think it's great.
What about? Okay, Michael and I have the same boat. Where are you at?
So appearance, I would have liked it a little bit darker.
Fair.
So smell though, I like the smell. The taste, honestly, it tastes like used car soap.
Yes.
Lemon Pledge.
Aftertaste, I mean, the aftertaste wasn't horrible, but there wasn't anything really good about it.
And it didn't. It faded at least. So the good part is the aftertaste. Yeah.
The drinkability, I gave it, so mine was only 48.
I think it's great.
Mine.
35 Lemon Pledge. Makes it
35.
Yeah.
By the way, lemon pledge from Utah. Down with the lemon pledge. It's not quite as lemony, but it's very pledgy.
Fuck her. There was like the 3 worst scores, and I was like, fucking 93, bitches.
I mean, it's not my lowest score. It's my 3rd lowest score.
Wow.
But
I must be. This is the problem with doing triple IPAs in order, right? Like we get more drunk as we go.
yeah,
so that might
well, it
affect.
might be
Maybe that affects my scoring. I've been trying to drink water and have some coffee. I don't know. I got nothing outside of that.
Well, we need to hear the
Oh, yeah. What else happened this week that's worth talking about? We skipped the school shooting. Here's the truth. Well, we talk about it for a second, but here's the truth. Here's my opinion on school shooting.
hold on. If you're bringing transgender into it, get the fuck out. It has nothing to do with them being a transgender, unless, of course, they were put into fucking conversion therapy by that fucking religious school. Talking about the fact that, oh my God, she was mentally broken, he was mentally broken, they were mentally broken because they were transgender. Bullshit. 1 out of how many hundreds of school shootings was a transgender person, and all the rest were not.
Okay, I can answer that.
Focusing on that is bullshit.
It's fine. The actual correct answer to this is 3 out of about 3,000.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
it's
four
bullshit.
Four if you count the non-binary kid.
Okay.
So yeah, it's about 3 or 4 out of 3,000 of not school shootings. Sorry, that's of shootings that killed or injured more than 3 or something like that. So mass shootings. I agree with you. Well,
LSU beat Iowa, by the way.
What?
LSU beat Iowa.
No.
Ass whooping too. 102-85. 102.
All right, well, that's right. All right, so here's the problem with the entire, with this particular school shooting and the transgender angle. Like, the reality is the fact that this person was transgender or LGBTQ, in your typical, if this kid were in California, this person were in California, I would probably not worry about it. Like, where's the shooting at? Where was it at? Tennessee, right? So the reality is, look, I'm a fucking hard atheist, right? Everyone who watches this show knows that I'm a hard atheist, right? Like the reality is, as soon as I heard, oh hey, there was a school shooting at a private Christian school by a 28-year-old, my first thought was, yeah, that kid was toast molested.
I was kind of where I went to.
I'm not saying that's true, and honestly, in this particular case, it's probably not true. The kid was probably not molested. I think the kid was probably mentally tormented to some extent because of the way that they identified as a youth. Even though about 15 years ago when they went there, they probably did not ID as trans, but I would expect they probably outwardly showed signs of being homosexual at the very least. And I suspect that led to a weird spot for the kid. I'm not saying that justifies fucking going in and killing a bunch of children, right? Or 3 children and 3 adults. That doesn't at all. It absolutely does not.
Doesn't justify killing the adults, frankly.
It absolutely does not justify killing anybody. It does not. It does not. I agree with you. I'm just saying, like, that was my first thought. Like, if you have a kid who used to be an altar boy and he goes and he shoots up a Catholic church, my first thought is, yeah, dude, priest, like, you fucking deserve that, frankly. But I'm a fucking, I'm anti-religion as a default. So, like, I am not the best example for this particular situation. So, I don't really want to go into the school shooting because the truth is, like, I don't want to go into it because it doesn't fucking matter. That's the problem. Like, I don't want to talk about it because nobody gives a fuck. For about a fucking week, a bunch of people on the right are gonna go, if every motherfucker in school had a gun, including the kindergartners, this wouldn't happen. And all the people on the left are like, if we could fucking maybe have less guns, this wouldn't happen. And the truth is, nothing will change. And I'm a big fan of talking about things that actually could change or maybe make a small difference.
I agree.
And the reality is, 3 dead children and 3 dead school officials is the price that we're paying for this absolutely stone cold, like, dedication to the Second Amendment. Right? That's the price we pay. If Sandy Hook isn't going to change our minds about the ability to own and acquire and produce guns in America, nothing will. It's a pointless conversation. I don't even like having it. I just don't. It's not going to change. Like, if Sandy Hook didn't change it, there was like 14 kids got killed in Sandy Hook. If that doesn't change your fucking mind, nothing will ever change your mind. So why bother? What's the point of this conversation? Like, I'd much rather just talk about you guys fucking stuff, your things there. I'd much rather talk about Trump paying off fucking stuff, which I think it's totally fine to pay.
Well, yeah, you're gonna pay up just got to do it from your own money and not your political contributions.
Oh no, how's a billionaire gonna pay like? She's like a lot of money.
He's a billionaire. He had his own personal money. They could have taken care of that. I agree.
It wasn't even a lot of money. That's the dumbest part about the Trump actual situation. But, like, look, I don't care if you want to pay off porn stars. He says he never fucked her.
Stormy Davis or whatever. Stormy Daniels.
Stormy Daniels says she did fuck him and he has a small dick. So, I would love to say I don't know who to believe, but one of them we know lies all the time, and the other one we just figure probably lies.
That was an easy one.
I was gonna go with Lays. I was just gonna go lies. Dude, I like Fox News. I'm trying to be fair and balanced.
Yeah, fair and balanced. I'm trying to figure this beer. I like.
See, this is
I'm getting more stone fruit.
See, this I want to pull the Shane card and go.
It's not true. Fog.
So the problem with this particular beer is that from a pure view standpoint and appearance standpoint, it neither hits the hazy nor neither hits the West Coast. Yep. It's in this in-between, unfiltered sort of look.
I like the color.
The color's good, but it's
the clear. It's
either clear or it should be opaque.
Yes.
I don't like in between. It's like sort of. It's like, I mean, look, we all know I like orange juice. I want my hazy to look like orange juice straight.
Could this be?
I'm actually gonna kill this one. No, this isn't big. I don't think this is big. I'm not trying to say. I'll go say it.
I'm curious.
There's a smell, but it's not that strong.
There's a smell. It's not great. It's not terrible. It's just there. That's kind of the beer. It's and the problem is, again, we've had so many triples that my palate may be blown by now. But
I think the taste is good.
I think the taste is good.
The pretzels definitely help.
You guys want my pretzels?
We have plain
I can give you.
pretzels.
We have plain pretzels too. We have pretzels filled with peanut butter. I like pretzels a lot. I mean, which isn't great.
I took the boys to Altamont on Friday to meet up for the normal beer with Mr. Beer Esquire. And well, my 10-year-old comes up to me, he's like, Dad, can I get pretzels? I'm sorry, they don't have just normal pretzels here. And he didn't want the honey mustard, which their honey mustard,
Honey mustard
because
pretzels are
it's
favorite.
it's. And I was getting mocked at by my girlfriend last night when I was saying, well, because it's not like overly honey or it's like
It's a good
it
balance.
has the perfect balance. And she's like honey mustard should. But you know what? But and then there was the Italian, but I didn't think you'd like that. So I ended up with a caramel sea salt popcorn.
Let's try to this beer. So I only gave it 79. In my defense, I actually think it is better than most of the beers, except for the last two. But that's because I didn't like the appearance or the smell. So I only got 6s. And most get 8s or 9s. So that's gonna drop a lot of
You
points.
enjoyed it better as the
Taste, straight taste, aftertaste, drinkability. I went 25, 17, 25. Because I think it's a very, very drinkable beer. And I would enjoy drinking this beer.
it's okay.
But I don't think it looks or smells particularly.
Yeah, the smell was not great. The appearance.
The
was
look
not
is
great
simply too in between.
for a triple. Yeah.
The smell is not strong enough. But I think it tastes great.
I gave it a 68, kind of on similar reasons. Is if this is a triple, the flavor's fine, it's good, it's there. The color's not great, the haze isn't great, so that kind of dinged it. That's a loss of like for my normal score.
I also
About 4 points.
4 or 5 points. It's
Yeah.
off like that.
Yep.
They are 4 off taste. Probably
I'm 4 or 5 points below all the other beers
just
because
because I look or smell.
yeah.
So for me, the appearance and the taste, middle of the road, because I like the color, but it's not clear, it's not hazy. So it's not like a super low score on the appearance, but it's not high score. Smell, I get the smell, it's not bad. And then I like the taste, I like the aftertaste, I like the drinkability, so I gave it a 77.
Well, let me get the change for the reference.
Michael,
what's that?
Okay, I gave this a 75. I liked the golden haze. I thought it was legitimate. I thought the previous beer was filtered.
It's weird because I wouldn't call this a haze. Like I would consider this like the look. If this said unfiltered triple West Coast IPA, I feel like that is very much what it looks like to me. It's like an unfiltered West Coast,
Yes, unfiltered.
right? Not a haze. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, got it.
I drink a lot of hazies, and my hazies, like a good hazy, looks fucking like orange juice. I'm not shitting you when I say that. So.
Okay, agreed. And then to me, it just was a canonical triple IPA. Like when I describe triple IPAs to people, it would be this beer. It's not something I like, it's not something I hate, it's just kind of middle of the 75.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. Hold on. We're getting scores here real quick. We're gonna figure out a score here.
So how do you score?
Well, I'm just ranking. Give me your ranking. 1 through 8. Give me your 1 through 9. Give me your ranking order. So Shane goes. Let's go. That's 2, 5, 4, 1.
3 should be.
Shane is having trouble figuring out what's.
Yeah, because I marked stuff and then I linked the wrong numbers. So I screwed myself up.
Well, I probably was trying to figure out also because I had to divide things because we added as we.
Exactly.
Okay, so the NFL draft. Let's talk about the NFL draft. It's gonna be a shit show. Let's talk about Lamar Jackson. Nobody's signing him for what he wants.
Well, first of all, he wants a guarantee of all the money, which, let's be fair, the NFL is fucked up that they don't guarantee your money.
Look, the motherfucking Browns fucked it up for everybody when they signed motherfucking straight fucking rapist Watson guy. Well, not rapist. Sorry, my bad. He doesn't rape people. Touch my dick Watson guy for fucking $300 million.
Sexual assault. Yeah.
So, touch my dick Watson. Those are different. Those are different. I don't feel like I'm assaulting about from like, touch my dick. Well, versus like,
Except for
my dick.
Power to make them touch your dick.
It doesn't. I didn't know any of this, but I don't think it's the same level of sexual assault.
So what's got a full guarantee?
Yeah, he's fucking full guarantee.
Yeah, I know Kirk got the full guarantee a couple years ago with the Vikings.
But Watson's guarantee is ludicrous. Watson's guarantee is the problem with the entirety of the NFL quarterback situation. There's a chance Lamar may never play again if he needs to hold after that.
No, he'll play.
He'll back out.
He'll back off. Well, first of all, he doesn't have an agent, which hurts him because he doesn't have that bargain.
That whole story is confusing because it's like
the second part of it is he literally refuses to take anything less than a fully guaranteed contract after not playing half this year. When you add into that the fact that he is a very system-specific quarterback, and if you're because they signed him to the non-restricted tender, if you sign him to a contract, you're giving up 2 number 1 picks for him. Who the fuck is going to give up 2? You're not going to give up 2 number 1 picks for the guy. So he's either going to play next year for them, or he's not going to play at all, which is my guess as to what happens. Okay, wait. So 8
on. I know. What? I'm with you.
What? Okay, so hold on. This is.
All right. So in the event of a total score tie, I'm actually giving the advantage to the drinkability that's higher.
That seems fair. Two, 3, 4.
All right. How many beers? 9, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Fuck.
Yes, that's where we're at too. We're all on 9 beers. 1.
Oh, I forgot to rank number 9. Where's number 9? 79. That's 3. After 4.
So next year, I think, regardless of how many beers we have, we need to have at least one extra sheet.
Well, he offered to print it and everybody told him no.
Yeah, he did.
You didn't hear him offer?
No, I was saying yeah.
Yeah, he offered to print more.
Well, I think it was it was only 2.
Yeah.
And then that third one, because then
All right.
because I
You got yours. Go.
so 2 was my number 1. Do you want the score or
No, I don't score.
Okay.
Okay.
2,
Is
9,
there a towel in there, Michael?
1, 7, 5, 6, 3, 8, 4.
Michael, do you have all yours ranked in order?
Yes.
All right, go.
How do I do this?
In ranked order, top to bottom.
Number 1 first.
I didn't write down the numbers.
Okay, take your time to do that. It's fine. Shane's still figuring out how fucking math works.
No, I know it works, but I can't figure out where my 9th beer comes from.
Hey, mental note: if you want to be a lawyer, guys, don't worry about your math.
That's 100% true.
Fine.
100%
Worry
true.
about your English, but not your fucking math. And
Or
probably
use chat.
probably U.S. history. Speaking of weird AI content, I used AI to create an article to introduce the new Mountain House Boosters board. I live in Mountain House. In case you want to come murder me, it's fine. What they already knew that anyway. So it takes a pretty cursory search on it.
Just tell your story. Cheryl's out of battery. You didn't hear it go doo-doo-doo?
No. So the point is though that what was my point? That point.
You
Who cares?
missed it.
My point. I used AI and I created a cool article which I'm gonna post as soon as I figure out where I'm gonna host my website. All right, let's go. We're running out of time here.
I want to know what your 2 favorite beers were.
Hold on. I will tell you.
No, I just
Mine
need
were
to-
87.
8 and 7?
Mine were 8 and 7, which is literally nowhere near anyone else's list. But whatever.
7 was the middle of the road for me.
That's true. We're staying around. Shane's got 254. Michael's got nothing so far.
So what do you want from me?
Top score through ninth score.
Just
Number, beer night.
number 8 is your first rank.
Because I'm gonna add them all up and give you totals.
Got it. 8 and 7 were my first.
So 1 and 2 is 8, 7.
Yep.
Okay, keep going.
And then 2,
Okay.
1,
Okay.
Whoa.
9,
See your fantasy football season.
8,
Fuck yeah, bro. We could fucking just live stream our options. I don't believe it. All right, 872-198.
10.
10. Well, there was no fucking 10. Fucking 9 beers, bro. Hey, Michael, 254. Well, my fucking math.
9, 7, 8,
Give me the
6,
give me the
5.
Michael, I think it's 8. I think you've already did that. I missed it. Oh, that's 9. That's 9. Oh, you're right. You missed 2 5s. What the fuck? What fucking coincidence, people? Look, triple IPAs, they fuck you up. Motherfuckers with 2.5, Michael thinks there's a 10.
2.5.
Hey, Aaron, high fucking five, get that shit right first time, bitches.
Oh, there it is. There it is. I figured it out.
Okay, go.
Yeah. The 5. 2, 5, 4, 1, 9, 3, 7,
Okay.
8, 6.
Great. Hey, could you help Michael figure out how orders work?
Yeah,
There's still no 10.
I know, I'll fix it.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Just trying to figure out how to rank these beers in order.
And producer T. Watch.
Nine, there was 9 beers.
There's no 10. You put 10.
6, 7, 8.
Okay, can you pour
So,
something?
8, 7, 2, 1, 9, 8. So you're missing 4, 5, and 6.
No, we can't, but there were the pink boots.
Missing one.
So the 10 isn't actually there because you're
All you
doing
got is big boots.
Do you want me to just pour you something?
Something interesting. Pour us if you want to, or you one of the flowers is fine too.
Yeah, so I brought the pink boots for the
We
pink
have plenty
boots.
of flowers options too. Message your wife, tell her to come back. Probably not right. The wife is fine. They're fine. Like the wife is fine. All right, sorry. I don't know why fucking figuring out the ranking of 9 things takes this long, guys. I'm sorry.
Number 4 is the.
Well, because we had to like divide
here's the
things,
number one.
the two sides. Somebody's printer doesn't like the print two sides.
I just want to say
Number 4 is your lowest.
we're good at puzzles and we're both active runners. So for Amazing Race to use this video, we're fun and honestly we've never had
4,
beer
6,
drinking
8.
running buddies as a tag.
Missing 5.
Beer drinking old running buddies, no less.
Old beer drinking money buddies.
Look, here's another story. I've lost 75 pounds from my fat.
But did you have
This
a pack?
fucking came along at like 45.
That is actually true.
Those are things we're not having.
Okay.
I figured out.
I passed the bar. Thank you. Going
That's
to
what
an
I'm saying.
online
Beer
law
1,
school,
beer 2, beer
which
3.
has a lower than 25% pass rate in California. After 25% pass rate on the baby bar. So the way this works is, I started off in the 25th percentile. And then from that 25th percentile, there's another 25th percentile.
Also, this dude's literally never left the country. We have to apply for his passport just for this motherfucker to be on the race. He's got to get a passport. All right, Michael, go ahead.
Okay. 5,
Hold on, let me fucking adjust here. 5, 8,
7,
2, 7,
2, 1,
2, 1,
9, 8,
9, 8.
44.
That's pretty fucking.
What?
Okay. Okay, back to the Amazing Race. Look, I'm just saying, I will run some shit. I will fucking roll some fucking hay bales. Like, I've been to,
We want to be able to carry.
well, the Central American count is honestly part of North America.
Central America is technically part of North and South America, depending on what part of Central America you
I've
live.
been to 2.5 continents because I've been to Europe and I've been to America because I live in there. And I've been to the middle. I've been to Mexico.
I've once
And Panama.
WCW wrestling, does that count?
Also, we both run. If we mention that, we both run marathons. We ran.
And frankly,
We've
He's fast.
we're energetic, entertaining people.
We like to drink too. I'm just saying, like, the off-camera shit will be great. We'll drink beer. It's fine. We're opening some beers into the shows. We lost volume for like an hour. How much of my battery left? Michael's taking a fucking while to figure out his goddamn
Wait,
ratings.
no, and then he had 2 8s.
On the plus side, in order to satiate us, the wife poured something out of her fridge.
11%.
We're okay. But grab your new hazy beer.
Mr. Flanagan, sir.
Oh,
you're quite welcome, sir. Cheers, sir.
9. Cheers. Hey, cheers, you guys. People who can do rankings. All
I did rankings, but it's
That's why we're
like I
cheering.
said,
That's why we're cheering. No cheer for this fucking guy. Can do rankings.
yeah, but he had all the good words.
Still,
He
because
did
How
have
could
good
it be fair?
He did have good words.
All the good words.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
I had a
6,
lot of
7, 8.
beer.
Yeah, there are a lot of big beers. All right, I would just drink this over every triple we've had today.
Shane had a funny face.
Same
No,
too
it's
fruity. Too fruity for Shane.
No, I actually like the fruity beer. It's I haven't drank a hazy in a while, so I gotta.
Oh, come to my house.
Big
Yeah,
fan.
big fan. Big fan. The pub crawl was fun. Like, I think people mostly drank my homebrew ones.
They honestly did, yeah.
People liked that. Homebrew's pretty good.
Also, by
A lot of vodka. was
third stop
drinking.
of the night, drinking 9%.
Honestly, so here's my theory on last month's pub crawl. Last week's pub crawl.
Last week and last month.
My theory is that whether or not you were super fucked up in the pub crawl was entirely based on how many fucking Jello shots. That motherfucker.
At the house, but also the last house. Right?
Yeah, but if you guys fucking faded until the last house, like it's not a big
So
deal.
but I'm just saying.
I did like it. Did you figure it out yet? Somebody messaged me
I only had one Jello shot at the Mario Kart house, but I had like 4 syringe shots.
Oh my god! So last night we're driving home from shopping or something.
Is it another one?
Yeah, it's not a triple. We're driving home with the kid and with the wife, and I was like, "Yo, talking about the photo. I'm talking about our photo we got, which we got a house too." And this one's like, I wasn't in the house photo. I left, and I was like,
Oh, you know what's throwing him
She
off?
spent about 12 minutes arguing with me.
You
But when I
have
was
two
in
at
the
the
last photo,
same
I
ranking,
actually
so
said,
which one would you consider better?
Just take the higher one.
They're at the same rank.
No, highest based higher drinkability.
Got it.
If there's a tie in the score,
Drinkability.
I didn't have any ties.
But no, so we're pretty sure that the wife basically did 3 to 5 of the Jello shots, and that was what did her in. She didn't make house score.
Different numbers.
So my wife did not make house score.
75. Okay, here's your problem. Why do you have different numbers? Okay, so this is 1, 2, okay, 3.
I think he was struggling to try to get to ranking. So if you look,
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Then you have to go to the back.
this is, hold on.
We're running out of time here, guys.
This is what happens when you spend 2 hours drinking triple IPA.
I did one. I won.
You did?
But the pub crawl was good.
I think you should explain the pub crawl because
All right, so what's the pub crawl? So in the Moho, we
No, he said highest.
not
right. Traditional pub crawl is hey, you and a group of fools arrive at a pub and you walk from pub to pub to pub to pub to pub.
Oh, no, we didn't.
get your fix.
This is the thing you do when you have a downtown area that is cool. Say Pleasanton's downtown for local. If you're in England, I know we could have taken the tube and just fucking done a bunch. When we were in England, pretty much any place you get to a downtown, you hit 4 or 5 pubs in a row. That's cool. We live in a town that has fucking nothing.
We finally got a Safeway.
You just start.
That's closed right now.
Hold on.
Starbucks is closed right now.
The whole
Gas
thing.
station.
Are you
Yeah,
on
it's closed for a couple
Starbucks?
days.
It's supposed to be a sports bar.
No, South Korea. The hangar is on that, right next to the drive-through, so it's 20.
There's another Starbucks?
So the Starbucks in Mount House Plaza is closed due to a gas leak. The Starbucks
There's a
in
Starbucks
Safeway.
other than the Safeway? Oh, there is.
So it's going to be Starbucks talking to a sports bar.
Yeah, I think there's still something in the middle, but yeah.
Next to the Starbucks will be a
So
sports bar.
here's my question. This one
Also,
is definitely after this one, right?
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, I'm ready.
5, 4, 2,
Hold on.
1,
5, 4, 2, 1,
6, 9,
6, 9,
7, 3, 8.
7, 3, 8.
There you go.
Math. 2, 4,
I
9,
think
17.
extra numbers. I think that threw you off.
5, 14, 16, 23. 4,
So what we're doing is essentially
5,
lowest score wins.
6, 11. Ooh, that's pretty good.
You're number 4.
5, 4, 6, 8. That's 13. Sorry, I fucked it up. 13.
So
So
anyway, so pub crawl for us is instead because we don't have a place to go. We don't have a downtown. We don't have bars we can crawl to. homeowners will open up their house and we'll do each house will have an individual theme and we'll set up 4 or 5 houses that we can walk to, 40 or 50 people that will, for the most part, just go house to house. Each house has a theme, they decorate. I gotta be honest, you guys kill it every time. You guys decorate.
I don't feel like we killed it this time.
No, those guys.
Oh,
They kill it every time. The house decorations are great. The story is great. And then you do a game at the house as part of the thing. It's just an opportunity for us because we can't all just get together and go, hey, let's meet at the bar and then go to the restaurant.
6 hour price for your house with 60 people.
Right, but like, I think we could get a group of 15 or 20 people who would let's go to a drink, and let's go to dinner, and let's go to dessert at 3 different places. And we could do that if we had those places. I think we could easily get 15, 20 people to do that every 3 or 4 months. We don't have that. Nowhere near where we live. So, and even Tracy, frankly, we did that once, which worked great, but there were some long walks. I will say, we need to get Jody to do another.
Bar crawl?
Yeah, because that was the roper romp was so much fun. So much fun.
A lot of fun.
I'm pretty sure I fucked this all up. Can we go over the rankings again? I'm sorry. I fucked all this up. Shane, give me your rankings the fucking again, please.
Jesus Christ. 2, 5, 4, 1, 9, 8, 6, 5. Except I have 2, 5. See what you
2,
did?
5, 4.
2, 5, 4, 1.
1,
9, 7,
3. Oh, 9, 7. 9, 7, 3. 8.
Wait, 3.
2,
Oh my
5,
3 in there.
4.
No, hold on.
Counting and listing is very
9, 3, 7.
Dude, I fucked the fuck. I fucked the fucking fuck
I
for
think
sure.
we should just do this another day.
No, fuck them. 2, 5, 4, 1, 9, 3, 7, 8, 6.
Yes.
Aaron, that's you.
His was the only one that has no changes to it.
2, 9, 1.
Promise, I fucking wrote smaller so my fucking math didn't go directly across.
2,
2,
9,
9,
1, 7, 5, 6, 3, 8, 4.
Okay, you.
5, 4, 2, 1, 6, 9, 7, 3, 8. Your writing's getting small again.
Mine, but they're all roughly in order.
They're roughly the same.
Okay, so mine went 8, 7, 5.
So,
nothing's more exciting than watching drunk fuckers try to write things.
The history of the pub crawl started about 12 years ago.
Yep.
And it started off with, hey, we're just doing things. So first one was Cinco de Mayo, so it was all Mexican themed.
Good.
And over the years, as houses come and when people move to left,
Across the board.
I forgot one. It should be on the 25.
we have gone through and now we do things. The last couple have had Mario Kart themes, Disney themes, Harry Potter themes,
I actually like that Harry Potter.
rodeo themes.
Look, just for references, so the Mario Kart theme, they stole. That's my
No,
fucking
it wasn't close. Well, they stole it
Here's
from
my fucking theme. Alright, make no fucking mistake.
Because
You're right, I fucking sweet fucking stuff. Here's my fucking thing.
Yeah, we took it.
You're making no sense.
I remember you
I
asked me,
agree.
and I'm like, I think
This is
I
my fucking
fucking
thing.
fucking switches. Like, I
Here's my
have
fucking thing.
8 switches.
It's all good. I was like, cool. Like, I already have 2 new things for next time already. I'm gonna do either 6.
Ooh, that's a good thing too.
Right, because usually it's 6 couples, so all 6 guys just dress as King Henry.
Yes, and then you get
And
a
then
different
all 6 girls basically
Like
dress in a
me?
different color for the
Like
last
me?
Kings for sex. So we're doing 6, or we're doing
straight up
we're doing
prohibition.
prohibition, like not prohibition so much, but speakeasy. But we're doing speakeasy with our team dressed as what's the word? Teetotalers. So we're gonna do non-alcoholic beer, alcohol mixtures in the front, and then if you have the password, you can get some alcohol in the back.
3.
Cool. That's our 2 themes. Except
Thanks, people. See you next Sunday.
See you next Sunday. Except I don't need a post next. I don't actually need a theme because I'm pretty sure we're not posting next. I don't fucking get you guys in for next call. It's very confusing.
Okay.
We're not listening.
That's the point. Are you guys out?
No, we're still fucking going. We have to give the fucking final score eventually. We have to keep mathing here. And let's make the final with beers and which.
That is true. We should start bringing that.
Oh, yeah, bring up the beers.
All right, so we should.
Oh, here's the taste test. Here's the taste test.
Oh, that's
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
all right. So beer number one.
All right, this is in order. This is in order. Order from left. Well, left to right for us. Right to lefty for you. There's more beer in this one still.
What is this?
That's Billboard.
So this is number one.
Yeah, that's one.
Shadow.
Oh, there's a whole bunch left in this motherfucker right
What
here.
the fuck is that? Oh, that's
That's the Dan. That's the Dan.
Two was Fieldwork. Four is Menace.
five is Altamont.
That looks like a
6 is Big Chicken.
Oh, right, you have to find the value of the fish.
7 is Hess. Why are there 2 field works?
Because Amber added one last. This
Oh,
last
okay.
year.
8 was
That's why I thought you liked it so much, because it's a year old, so it's lost some of its alcohol.
It's good. Awesome.
and 9 is Apocalypse, which is the old.
So 8 and 9 are last year.
I really think the best.
You give it a negative 3.
Yes.
I like this more.
So
that
my
Fieldwork-
highest
that
score
Fieldwork
went
is from last
to,
year, right?
The field work.
and my second highest score went to Altamont. T-Dog.
So
I
5.
All right.
So for
Final
me, it was,
rankings.
Close that then.
wow, Fieldwork, which I don't normally like.
Oh, yeah.
Number one for everyone combined, okay? Well, so let's talk about number one for each of us. My number one was 8, which actually was 1 year old fieldwork.
Yeah. Explains a lot about the palate. Just saying. My number one.
That's actually
This
fucking
year's
terrible. I'm not supposed to rate I'm not supposed to rate
No.
1 year old
No.
fieldwork. I hated this year's fieldwork. I hated this year's fieldwork.
I didn't normally like Fieldwork beer, but that was my highest rated one this year.
I agree.
So these are my 2 favorite beers, which was the Mike Hess and the fieldwork. These are my 2 highest tier.
And by the way, the last 2, these are each a year old.
So Apocalypse for me, right? That was second.
My only favorite beers. What are you I have a list. It's 5 and 4. So your favorite beer was Scarcity, which is super legit, and 4, which was
That's
so that is Altamont and Morgan.
2 local beer. I mean, well, they're all.
They're all local.
Relatively.
They're all local. What was your favorite beer? What was your favorite?
So mine was Fieldwork.
What was
Yeah,
your list look like?
20
2 and 9.
The
So the
23
Fieldwork?
Fieldwork and the 22 Apocalypse.
Honestly, the 2022 did okay this year between me and you. Like, this isn't bad. All right, here's Tom. Looking, what did you like the best? You liked.
no, I gave it. My number 1 beer was Fieldwork,
Yep.
and my number 2 beer was Scarcity.
That's fair. All right, so final rankings. The number 1 beer was beer number 3. Only one of us rated it best.
Danville.
Danville, Tres Diablos.
That was my lowest tier.
Wait, what?
Second lowest tier.
Mine was 60. Yeah,
What
mine
was your lowest beer?
Second lowest.
Wait, hold on, where's Michael? Where's Michael?
There's
No. Yeah, but 3 is the winner. Second, it was his second lowest rated.
3 is fucking beer. It's the 3rd fucking number. Right here.
1. That's a 1.
This is an order 1 through. This is like best beer, worst beer.
And 3 is down here.
Oh no, you're right. Okay, you're right. You're right. What's your worst beer? You're right.
Second worst.
Hold on, I fucked this up.
The second.
Yeah.
This is excellent. This is how it should be.
Actually, third.
Oh, that's fucking math.
Hold on.
Hold on. Oh, this is fucked up.
He
Oh
screwed
my
this
god.
up.
All I do is add up the total score for best beers. That is terrible. Fuck, this is so much more math. Charles, we need more math help. Fuck. Dude, I fucking don't know what. I'm so lost.
No. Beer number, the lowest aggregate score, because here's the problem is, yeah, you gave Michael a 5 here, and that's not a 5.
So it is a
It's
5.
except that,
There's beer number 5.
except that it wasn't his 5th, it was his 8th.
No. His ace was number 1. This is his ace beer here. No, beer number 8 was his favorite beer.
This is Michael right here. This is Michael.
Oh, you know what? Hold on, I fucked up. You know what? Here's the right. Here's the right.
If we don't have good vindication,
No, it's fine. So in
you know
theory,
what?
in theory, all the best beers should be rated 4, right? And all the second best beers through 8-8. No, that's not good either.
No. No.
What the fuck is the right
No,
way to do this?
there's no. The solution is.
We fucked it up. Fuck it.
The solution is we get a spreadsheet, we put it on the board. Yeah. So it would appear that our top 3 beers will be.
Because this math is the best beer we rated each. The number of the beers up.
Why would you do that?
Because I'm
That doesn't
fucking.
make any sense.
Because I'm fucking.
Oh, wait, is that what you did?
This is why.
We can't. No one was there. Could you skip my laptop from outside?
Yeah.
Fuck Shane, figure out something cool that happened this week so we can figure this out. I need more beer. I'm out.
Baseball opening day, which is the most fucked up thing. I gotta be honest with you, it's fucked up. It's
Whatever.
fucked up. You have games on a Thursday, and then almost nobody played on Friday. Yeah, to build in rain days, like let's start April. Oh wait, March.
What the spreadsheet even looks like. I get why on the East
What
Coast
does this spreadsheet even look
or weather shitty, you might have a
So you do
built-in makeup day
What
for
are
the
our
weather
scores?
being
Number two,
shitty, and you
what
have
are
to
our
make up the
scores?
game.
like? Okay.
Great, get that. Giants having playing with start opening up with the Yankees.
Yes.
I sort of get that. Weather can be
Yeah,
shitty.
you're right.
Oakland A's in Oakland had a day off on a Friday.